The Battle of Witpoort was a battle during the Second Anglo-Boer War. Major Frederick Henry Munn commanded the detachment of the Royal Irish Fusiliers at Witpoort, which was attacked on 16 July 1900, his orders being to hold his position at all costs. The Boers called on Major Munn to surrender, but, scornfully refusing, he held out from daybreak till 2 p.m., when the Canadian forces mounted a counter-attack and the Boers retired. The battle became famous because of the death of Harold Lothrop Borden. Context: the Second Boer War was fought from the 11th of October 1899 until the 31st of May 1902 between the British Empire and the Afrikaans-speaking Dutch settlers of two independent Boer republics, the South African Republic and the Orange Free State. It ended with a British victory and the annexation of both republics by the British Empire. Both would eventually be incorporated into the Union of South Africa, a dominion of the British Empire, in 1910. In the Battle of Witpoort, British commander Edward Hutton had 4 companies of the Royal Irish Fusiliers, the 1st Mounted Infantry, which was made up of the 1st and 2nd Canadians, as well as the Australians of the Queensland Mounted Infantry. Under the command of Major Munn were 3 companies of the Royal Irish Fusiliers and 60 troopers of the New Zealand Mounted Rifles were placed on the 3 hills straddling the Witpoort Pass. The British officers were charged by South African Republic General Ben Viljoen and renowned Boer fighter Roland Schikkeling. Battle: South African Republic General Ben Viljoen had positioned his troops for attack during the night of the 15th of July and then launched a 3-pronged assault on Major Munn and the Irish positions at daybreak. Viljoen ordered a general storming of the Britishers' entrenchments. The battle opened at 6:45 with heavy shelling on Major Munn's troops. Renowned Boer fighter Roland Schikkeling and his comrades went to the north of the New Zealanders' ridge and then charged under heavy rifle fire. The New Zealanders surrendered one of the 3 hills they occupied. The Boers were in possession of the higher hill which commanded the lower middle hill. Schikkeling captured a captain and 20 New Zealanders and some continued right over the ridge and captured a number of horses. The Canadians mounted a counter-attack. Colonel Edwin Alderson sent 2 squadrons of the Canadians to assist the Irish on the Korpia, which had been vacated by the New Zealanders, and, with the fire from the guns, the position was regained. Lieutenants Borden and John Edgar Birch of B Squadron led a counter-attack. They were successful, but at the cost of their lives. Boer marksmen less than 200 yards distant shot them as they stood up to lead the rifles forward. Lord Roberts reported to the War Office that Borden and Birch were killed while gallantly leading their men in a counter-attack upon the enemy's flank at a critical juncture of his assault upon our position. At 14:00, British officer Edward Hutton moved all of his available troops onto the desperately regained positions and, by sundown, the Battle of Witpoort had ended. His losses were 7 killed, with 30 wounded. 2 officers and 22 soldiers had been taken prisoner. The Canadian losses were heavy and included L.T. Borden, the son of the Canadian Minister of Defence. He is buried at the Braamfontein Cemetery, not far from the grave of Willem Morkel de Troyes. Legacy: there are very few battlefields of the Anglo-Boer War which present such well-preserved traces as does Witpoort, with its 51 small 2- and 4-man stone breastworks built by the New Zealanders. The long line of stone shelters makes it possible for one to stand there and visualize the mad charge made by renowned Boer fighter Roland Schikkeling and his fellow Johannesburgers. There Willem Morkel fell. One can also crouch behind the rocky ridge 30 to 40 meters below the sangars and then walk over the ground once swept by the New Zealanders' fire. There Schikkeling took his prisoners. On the south of the ridge, Colonel Alderson led his Canadians in their counter-attack toward the captured position. Today, this area is a well-tended farm, and in the north, the level ground over which the Boers charged is now a wattle plantation. This battle site, with its clearly identifiable sangars, deserves to be declared a heritage site under auspices of the new National Heritage Commission.